Hi everyone, this is video number 1 for section 9.1. We're talking about prisms, and prisms can have all kinds of different bases. And so the ones that we're going to concentrate on are 4 different ones. As you see here, these bases are hexagons, so it's called a hexagonal prism. And the sides that are parallel to each other are our bases, and then the other parts are the lateral sides. And so you can see right here it says lateral faces, and then we've got vertices where they all come together, and then the edges. Sometimes we work with the edges if we're finding like the length of a weld or something, and you'll see some of that in problems and homework. The height is the altitude, and that's the distance between your parallel bases. So it's important to look at the prism first and identify what is this prism. So this one happens to be hexagonal. And then here's some others. So rectangular prisms have a rectangular base. And honestly, when you're working with these, any of the sides can be your bases because everything's a rectangle if it's a rectangular prism. We have a triangular prism, meaning we've got 2 sides that are triangles, and then the 3 lateral sides are all rectangles. On a trapezoid, we have trapezoid bases, and then we have 4 rectangle sides. Now, sometimes there'll be a couple of them that are the same, but the rest of them are different sizes. And when you're looking at it, once again, identify your base and work with that, and then go from there. These are our formulas, and they're on your formula sheet. Now, I don't have this part on your formula sheet where it's describing each thing. This is a pentagonal prism, which we don't even work with in this class, so we just kind of ignore that one. The lateral area is equal to the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. And the total surface area then is the lateral area, which are the sides, plus 2 times the area of the base. Because if you look at this particular one, we have 2 bases, and then we have the sides going around, right, our lateral sides. The volume of this will be the area of the base times the height. Now, when we're working with these formulas, I'm going to show you a way that I feel like is very helpful on keeping track of everything. This is what this looks like if we lay it out, right? It's got these 5 rectangle sides. That's our lateral surface area. And so you can see that here. And then in the total surface area would be the lateral area, which are our rectangles that go around this, plus 2 bases, right? The area of 2 bases. And that's how we would find surface area for the whole thing. And then the volume is the capacity or the total amount of space inside that, and it's measured in cubic units. So all of our areas are square units, and then cubic units for volume. Okay. Now we're going to work through all 4 different types of prisms. Triangles, rectangles, trapezoids, and then the hexagon ones. All of those are going to be ones that you'll be dealing with, so we want to work with each one. Now, we're going to use these formulas, right? For lateral area, the perimeter times the height. Total surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. And then volume, area of the base times the height. This is a triangular prism. Okay. Now, right here it shows you that we have a right angle. So for my triangle, I have a height and a base. It doesn't really look right, like a right angle the way it's drawn, but because it says it is, okay? That's how that works. I like to find the perimeter. So the perimeter for this triangle is 6 plus 8 plus 10. If it's a right triangle and you have a missing part, you can use the Pythagorean theorem to find that. I think there's one on my lab where that happens, and you use Pythagorean theorem to find the hypotenuse. So 24 inches for my perimeter. And then my area, right, the area of this triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times 6 times 8. So the area of my triangle is 24 square inches. Now those aren't the same measurement. I have 24 inches for my perimeter, but square inches for my area. And then we can go through each one. So for lateral area, we're going to say our perimeter of 24 times our height of 15, right? Because the height of the prism is 15. We had a height for our triangle, but that's not the same as the height of the prism, so you want to be careful when you're working with those. My lateral surface area then is 360 square inches. On part B, we're going to find the total surface area. So we need this, 360. That's L in our formula, right? And then 2 times the area of the base. So 2 times 24. That's going to be 360 plus 48. So my total surface area is 408 inches squared. And then last we have volume. So volume's area times the height, right? Area of the base times the height. So the area of my base is 24. And then we're going to multiply that by the height of 15. 24 times 15 is 360 degrees. 360. I was just doing another video about degrees and circles. Anyway, and this is cubic inches. So there we go. All right. So remember, if you need to find a missing part like this angle or this side, then use Pythagorean theorem because it's a right triangle. Now, if it's not a right triangle, it would be different, but I don't think you really have to face that other than with a right triangle. All right. So what is a rectangular prism, right? That's what this is, rectangular. I use the base it's sitting on as my base because that to me makes more sense so that you don't get mixed up. We can also label. So the side it's sitting on is 9.3 by 5.2. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to find my perimeter. So the perimeter of my base, remember, that's going to be 2 times 9.3 plus 2 times 5.2. So perimeter is 29 meters. And then I'm going to find my area, which is just length times width. So length times width is going to be 9.3 times 5.2, and that is 48.36, and that is in square meters. And then I'm just going to go through just like I did on the previous question and substitute in. So my lateral area is perimeter times the height. So this is my height since I used those other numbers for my base, right? I used the base on the bottom, so the height between those two pieces, the top and bottom, is going to be the 7.4. So that is sometimes a mistake students might make, so be careful with that. So 29 times 7.4. My lateral surface area is 214.6 meters squared when I round to the tenths place. I'm not sure if I had to round that one or not, but round to the tenths if needed. I think this one comes out exact. 29 times 7.4. Because, yeah, I didn't have a wavy equal sign on my notes, so I'm going to go with that. Part B is total surface area. So we're going to add the 214.6, the lateral area, plus 2 times the area of my base, which is 48.36. And so my total surface area, 311.32, which rounds to 311.3, that's square meters. Okay. And then the last one is volume. So part C, my volume is area of the base times the height of the prism, so times 7.4, and that gives me 357.864. Check that. Yeah, so that wasn't rounded, but then we're going to round it to the tenths place, so 357.9, right, meters cubed, because it is a volume. All right, let's look back at that. I did do cubed on that one. My numbers came back. There we go. Okay. Well, that is the end of this video. We're going to stop it here because we can't really do the next part of this in just 3.5 minutes. And then I'll pick this up on the next video.